Lecture 33, Sinusoidal Waveforms, Amplitude, Phase and Frequency. So the objective of this lecture is to understand what is the definition of alternating current signal, what is the mathematical representation of sinusoid which represents AC signal, and what are the key parameters of that sinusoid, that is amplitude, frequency, time period and phase. So let's start with the first part, that is what is an AC signal. So AC signal is simply a periodic waveform where the magnitude varies continuously with time, which we can see from this graph, that is magnitude is changing at every instant. And the second part is the direction reverses periodically. Again we can see that after a particular time magnitude reverses and again it is reversing here. So it is going from positive side to negative side to positive side to negative side. So this happens periodically in a periodic waveform. So why are we talking about sinusoidal waveforms? Because the rotating electrical machines, that is generators, produce a natural output which is sinusoidal in nature. So let's talk about mathematical representation of a sinusoid. This is a sinusoid signal and the general expression for representing this equation is simply Vt is equal to Vm sine omega t plus phi, is where Vt is simply the instantaneous voltage, that is voltage at particular instant of time. Vm is the amplitude, omega is the angular frequency, t is the time, and phi is the angle in degree or radians. So let's talk about all these one by one. So let's talk about amplitude. So for example, in this wave, this is the reference line and the maximum horizontal deviation from this line is this, that is 1 volts. So therefore, the amplitude of this waveform is 1 volts, that is Vm is simply equal to 1 volts. There is another concept of peak to peak voltage, which is simply the vertical distance between the maximum positive peak and the maximum negative peak. And in this case, the peak to peak voltage is simply 2 times of Vm, that is 2 times of 1, that is 2 volts. Now, let's understand angular frequency, but before understanding angular frequency, we have to understand time period, frequency and phasor representation. So time period is simply the time required to complete one cycle. So in this case, if we can see, there is this kind of pattern which repeats again. This single pattern is repeating again and again, and time required to complete one such pattern is known as time period. This one pattern is simply known as a cycle. And the inverse of time period is simply frequency. That is if suppose this time is 1 second, then how many cycles of this pattern are repeating in 1 second is simply equal to the frequency. We can see that there are 2 patterns in 1 second repeating one after another, therefore the frequency is simply 2 Hz. Similarly, in this case, there are 4 patterns which are repeating in 1 second, therefore the frequency of this wave is simply 4 Hz. And from this we can also find out the time period of single pattern or single cycle, that is 1 by 4, which comes out to be 0.25 seconds. Now comes the very important concept of phasor representation. So what is a phasor? It is simply a rotating vector which is used to represent a sinusoidal wave. So that means that this sinusoidal wave can simply be represented with the help of this vector which is rotating in anti-clockwise direction at a particular angular velocity. So the length of this vector is simply the amplitude of the wave, that is the maximum displacement from the reference. Now before understanding how this wave can be represented by this rotating vector, we have to understand 2 reference frames used in the phasor representation. The first reference is cosine reference, which is the universal mathematical standard, and from now on we will be using it exclusively. And the second reference is sine reference. So in cosine reference, the 0 degree represents the plus cos omega t wave, that is a plus real part. At a 90 degree, it represents minus sine omega t, that is minus of the imaginary part. At 180 degree, it represents minus cos omega t. And at 270 degree, it represents the plus sine omega t waveform. And in sine reference, it starts from sine omega t at 0 degree, cos omega t at 90 degree, minus sine omega t at 180 degree, and minus cos omega t at 270 degree. So now we have understood the cosine reference, and let's see how the wave is represented by this reference. So this is a particular animation which represents cosine wave and sine wave represented by the rotating phasor. So let's start with the above 2 images. In the right side, we can see that this is a cosine wave because at 0 degree, that is cos 0, it is the maximum value, it is having the maximum value, that is 1, because cos 0 is 1. At 90 degrees, it goes to 0, and at 180 degree, it goes to minus 1, that is the maximum negative value. So at start of the wave, the magnitude is 1. And if we see the rotating vector, we can see that the rotating vector starts from the cosine reference. And as it starts, the horizontal projection is maximum, which represents the magnitude of that wave at 0 degree. As the rotating vector moves ahead, horizontal projection decreases in size, and at 90 degrees, we can see that horizontal projection is simply equal to 0, which is represented by the 0 crossing point of wave. And similarly, at minus 180 degree, amplitude of the wave becomes maximum negative, and similarly, horizontal projection of the rotating vector also becomes maximum negative. And at 270 degree, again, the magnitude of wave becomes 0, and as well as the horizontal projection of the rotating vector becomes 0. In the same way, sine wave can be represented by the rotating vector as well. So for cosine reference, the sine wave will start from plus sign terminal, which is at 270 degree. The horizontal projection of the rotating phasor is equal to 0, and also the magnitude at that point in the wave is also 0. At 90 degree, the horizontal projection becomes maximum, and same the magnitude of the wave also becomes maximum. At 180 degree, the magnitude becomes 0 in both the cases, and at 270 degree, the horizontal projection as well as magnitude of the sine wave becomes negative, and so on. So we can simply say that if we want to represent Vm sine omega t, it will start at minus 90 degree for cosine reference phasor representation, and the horizontal projection of that value will be simply 0. And if we want to represent Vm cos omega t, it will start at 0 degree, and the horizontal projection will start at Vm. The phasor rotates in anticlockwise direction. So now we have understood the phasor representation. Let's understand angular frequency omega. So angular frequency is simply the rate of change of sine angles in radian per second. So if we are taking cosine reference for phasor representation, we can simply represent this sine wave with the help of this phasor, which starts from this point. And once the sine wave completes its cycle, the rotating vector will also complete one complete cycle and come back to the original position. So the velocity at which this vector is rotating is simply known as angular velocity or angular frequency. We know that velocity is equal to distance per unit time. Therefore, angular velocity will be simply angular distance per unit time. So angular distance is theta divided by time. So from here, omega t is simply equal to theta. So in traversing the complete cycle, the vector goes from this and comes back to the original position, and therefore the angle covered is simply equal to 360 degree, and 360 degree is simply equal to 2 pi radians. So what is a radian? If we have this radius of the circle as r, and the rotating vector covers this much distance, which is also equal to r, then the angle is simply equal to 1 radian. So the complete 360 degree angle is simply equal to 2 pi radians. So from here, we can see that for one cycle, the angle covered is 2 pi radians, and time is simply the time period of the cycle, that is capital T. So 2 pi by T, and 1 by T is f, therefore omega is simply equal to 2 pi f. From here, we can find out the angular velocity of the standard 50 Hz supply, which simply comes out to be 2 pi into 50, that is 314.16 radian per second. And finally, phase and phase difference. So phase is simply the horizontal position of waveform relative to the reference point. So for example, if reference point is this 0, 0, that is xy axis crossing. So at t is equal to 0, if the wave is starting from this point, then the phase angle between the wave and the reference is simply equal to 0. Therefore, phi will be equal to 0. And this waveform is simply represented by Vt is equal to Vm sine omega t. So if the wave, rather than starting from the origin, it starts phi angle before, so we can simply say that this blue wave is simply ahead of this black wave. And how much it is ahead? That is by an angle of phi. So therefore, this is known as a leading waveform, and its equation is simply Vt is equal to Vm sine omega t plus phi. So on the same terms, if a wave starts at phi angle after the reference point, or that is after time t is equal to 0, then it is said to be lagging the reference waveform by an angle of phi. And this lagging waveform is simply represented by Vt is equal to Vm sine omega t minus phi. So this concept can easily be understood with the help of this animation. Here the dotted wave is the reference wave and the green wave is the shifted wave. So if green wave starts after the reference wave, it is said to be lagging, and if the green wave starts before the dotted wave, it is said to be leading. So, one line summary of the entire lecture. A sinusoidal waveform is a periodic waveform which is defined by its amplitude, that is height above the reference, the frequency, that is how much cycles are covered in 1 second, phase, that is its starting point in respect of the reference at time t is equal to 0, and finally the representation is simply the instantaneous voltage is equal to magnitude, that is Vm, sine of omega t, where omega is the angular frequency, plus phi, where phi is the phase angle.